It's a new day, it's a new life, and I'm feeling vlog. Hello everyone, welcome to another weekend vlog. I'm squatting for this intro because my tripod is not tall enough. Strong. This is officially the first vlog that we are doing under our group. I don't know what's happening with my hands. The first vlog that we are doing under our group of Vlogs in Bookland. This is one of the many ideas that people have, and then people bring those ideas forward because there's no one to tell us no. Last weekend we did a vlog, and by we I mean myself, Philippa Books, Holly Tash, and Joanna. We did a weekend vlog last week where we were buddy reading a book. If you haven't seen that vlog, I'll leave it here in the cards. I ended up doing a different vlog and there was no talking. It was nice, wasn't it? Not hearing my voice for a minute. This week I'm back on talking because even the good things come to an end and you're back to listening to my voice again. So here's our idea regarding this group and these vlogs. The idea is every weekend until some point in our lives, we're going to be doing a weekend vlog. Is it going to be for a month? Is it going to be 6 months? Is it going to be until the end of the year? Is it going to be only 3 weeks? What is it going to be? No one really knows. We're going to do weekend vlogs and one day we'll stop. I don't know when that is. I don't know what's going to make them stop. I don't know anything. But we're going to do weekend vlogs every weekend until further notice. The idea behind it is that every weekend there will be a theme or a challenge or a game or something that will rule our vlogs. We've created an Instagram page dedicated just to this little crazy project of us. It's called VlogsInBookland. Here's the Instagram handle. If you haven't followed it yet, you must go and do it because in some vlogs you'll be able to be part of it and join the wildness and the craziness and just do things. So go and follow the Instagram and you'll see cool things in there, and then you will see mentions in these vlogs to that Instagram page. Let's get to the point. This weekend we are doing a 24-hour reading marathon, which is already a challenge, but we've decided that we're gonna be reading each other's recommendations. So each of us recommended one book under 400 pages to the group. So we have 4 book recommendations in total. Let's go back in time and see the moment where we were recommending the books to each other.
Vai tu, Filipa, vai.
Uma de cada vez? Então, a minha recomendação é Sky in the Deep, da Adrian Young. É uma fantasia sobre Vikings, e é bem fixe. É boa ação.
Não, porque eu fui ver as páginas do meu e a minha edição tem mais páginas do que é suposto, mas no Goodreads não tenho, portanto é só a minha edição. Vai tu, Joaninha, se quiseres, bora.
Ok, eu também escolhi fantasia. Escolhi uma fantasia de menos de 400 páginas, foi difícil. Mas eu vou recomendar o Assassin's Apprentice, da Robin.
Oh my god.
Isso é a Julia Roberts, não?
Julia Roberts.
What?
Roberts.
Não!
Robin Hobb. Robin?
Ela é J.D. Roberts.
Isto é lindo, lindo.
Vai, Natasha. São os teus anos.
Okay. Cantar a raiva dos matarruanos.
Ai, sim.
Ok, pronto. Então, eu estava a dizer, a minha edição, eu só agora é que abri e notei que
Desculpa,
realmente passa. É este, o Bird Box.
Ok, também está na minha TBR, também gostava de ler.
Pois eu
Também podes...
vocês leu, portanto... Só que lá está, a minha edição tem tipo 470 páginas, mas isto é enorme, portanto não é por aí. No Goodreads tem 398.
Está a tentar enganar o sistema.
Não nada.
Vem um thriller. Oh!
If only I can tell you.
É um contemporâneo, adulto, dramático.
Contemporâneo, adulto, dramático, de chorar.
So we have 4 book recommendations in total. Then we used one of those secret Santa websites that randomly allocates people to each other, and each of us got allocated one of the other 3 girls. And what we have to do is read the book recommended by that person, except we don't know what the other three girls are reading. We don't know who's reading our recommendation, and no one knows what we're reading. And we're only gonna find that out once we post these vlogs. So we're gonna find that out today, together with you. As you've seen in that clip, the book I recommended was If Only I Could Tell You by Hannah Beckerman. And now, what am I gonna be reading during this weekend, you may ask? I'm gonna be reading Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. Many things I want to say about this. First, this was Joanna's book recommendation. Second, this is a fantasy. Do I read fantasies? I do not. Do I like fantasies? I do not. Am I scared? I am. And also, see how dedicated I am to this group? I purchased the book. I've acquired the book just for this reading vlog. 392 pages. The rule was that we needed to recommend a book that we really enjoyed and that it was under 400 pages. Almost 400. And the challenge is that we have 24 hours to finish the book that got allocated to us. Today is Saturday, and this 24 hours marathon is going to be happening between 3 p.m. today and 3 p.m. tomorrow, Sunday. So exactly 24 hours to read 400 pages of a book that might be out of our comfort zone, like this one is for me, and that someone else in the group really enjoyed. Let's see where this brings us, and wish me luck, and I hope I'm able to finish this, and I hope it's not too bad. Also, I have no idea what this is about. I haven't read the synopsis because I wanted to do it with you. So let's do that. Let's read all the information we have regarding this book. I know this is the book one in a series. Oh, it says here, book one of the Farseer trilogy. So it's a trilogy, 3 books. This is book one. It has a blurb from George Martin, which, if I'm not wrong, is the author of Game of Thrones. And it says, in today's crowded fantasy market, Robin Hobb's books are like diamonds in a sea of zircons. I have no idea what a zircon is. Zircon, not zircoin. So, yeah. The kingdom of the Six Duchies is on the brink of civil war when news breaks that the crown prince has feathered a bastard son and is shamed into abdication. The child's name is Fitz, and he is despised. Raised in the castle's stables, only the company of the king's fool, the ragged children of the lower city, and his unusual affinity with animals provide Fitz with any comfort. To be useful to the crown, Fitz is trained as an assassin and to use the traditional magic of the Farseer family. But his tutor, allied to another political faction, is determined to discredit, even kill him. Fitz must survive, for he may be destined to save the kingdom. Oh god. It has one of the tropes that I don't like on fantasy, which is the child that was born to save the kingdom. So not only is it a fantasy, it also has one of the tropes that I don't enjoy reading about. This is gonna be fun. Oh, there's a folded corner. The font is very small. It has a map. It has a map, my dudes. And the font is very small and I'm so scared. I'm so scared. Why do we make ourselves go through these adventures? I don't know. But at least we go through these adventures together. I'm gonna start reading right now because I'm anticipating that it's gonna take me a long time to read this because I'll probably get bored after 20 pages. So I'm assuming that I'll read a little bit and then I'll need to have a break and then read a little bit more and have another break. It's gonna be fun. Let's do it! I'm on page 6. Page 6. And I'm so confused. Why am I reading fantasy? Why? Why? It's been 6 pages. So, how can I approach this task of reading a fantasy book that is leaving me confused on page 6 in a clever, efficient way? Like so many things in life, the answer to this question is maths. So now we're going to do some maths on how to approach this question, and I'm going to walk you through my thinking process. Alrighty, so the audiobook for this book has 17 hours. So let's assume that's the time it takes to read the book. However, I'm listening to it at 2.35 times speed, which makes the audiobook be roughly 7 hours and 30 minutes. That is equivalent to 15 half an hour periods, which means that I need to read half an hour at a time 15 times in order to finish the audiobook. Now, we have 24 hours to complete the book. However, one needs to sleep. Let's take down 10 hours for sleeping purpose. And then there's also some other times in life where I'm not going to be reading because I'm going to be eating, I'm going to be in the toilet, I'm going to be staring at the walls and questioning all my life choices. So let's take down 4 hours for that. That now leaves us with 10 hours. So this 24-hour thing here is a lie. This is the time that I actually have to read the book. Now, we've seen that it takes me 7.5 hours to complete the book, which means that 10 hours minus 7.5 hours equals 2.5 hours. This is my spare time that I might end up actually using, or I might not. I don't know. It's spare, it just exists. Which means supposedly in 10 hours I have enough time to finish this book with some time to spare. Now what I have to do is schedule the 15 half an hour periods where I need to read. So let's say I'm gonna start reading at 6 p.m. because let's be realistic, I'm recording this and I'm not reading. So if I read from 6 to 6:30, and then let's say that between each reading period there is 1 hour. So the next reading period would be at 7:30 and I'll read till 8. And then 1 hour, and then I would read from 9 to 9:30. And let's carry on until the end of the day. Now this seems a good time to stop, 2 a.m. We can stop and go to sleep, which I've said here, that is 10 hours of sleeping, which leaves us the next day starting at 12 noon. But am I gonna read the second I wake up? No, that's a lie. So let's give it another good margin and let's say I start reading at 1 p.m. and I keep reading with this schedule. Now 3 p.m. is the time where the readathon needs to stop, so I cannot add any more schedules. Let's see if I manage to get the 15 half an hour periods. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and 8. What does that mean? That we are screwed because there's not enough time for that. So we need a new plan. We need a new form of attack. We cannot have 1 hour between the sessions. Let's try 30 minutes instead. See if that works. Starting at 6 and reading for 30 minutes at a time and with only 30 minutes in between. So I would start at 7 and read until 7:30 and then start at 8 and read until 8:30. And let's stop here at 1:30 a.m. and go to sleep, which like I said, it's 10 hours. I'm gonna put it starting again at 1 p.m. because I think that's a realistic time for this. Let's see if it works. Well, this is out of time because at 3 we finish. Let's see if we have enough now. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and this one. 10. We're still screwed. We are still screwed. Right, I think we all need to accept there is no time to sleep for 10 hours. We're gonna risk it all and we're gonna sleep for 6 hours. So let's say I go to sleep at 2 a.m. plus 6 hours sleep. I will wake up at 8 a.m. Let's carry on these ones first because it's more nice to see. So let's say we already have 6 periods. Let's carry on from 8 a.m. It's the time I wake up. So let's start at 9. I will start reading at 9. I will read for half an hour and there will be 1 hour between reading sessions. And how many are we missing? We have 6 here and we need another 9. So let's see if we can make another 9. So this will be the 7th. Okay, these are the 15 half an hour reading periods. Let's see if we have enough time before 3 p.m. Not enough time. Okay, let's go to this one, the one that there's only half an hour between each reading session. So I already have 8 here, so these are the reading periods that we are missing. Let's again consider that I go to sleep at 2 a.m. and I sleep 6 hours, meaning I wake up at 8 a.m. and let's put the first one at 9 a.m. 9 to 9:30, only half an hour in between, so the next one is at 10, 10:30, 11, 11:30. Now, this leaves us really close. However, this last one is out of the picture. I cannot read past 3 p.m., which means I'm missing half an hour of reading, which means I need to squeeze this half an hour at some point. Let's separate these 30 minutes that I'm missing into 5-minute intervals, because 10 is too much. 5 minutes that I need to add 6 times. So 6 periods out of the 15 need to have 5 more minutes in them. So let's add them, not at the first one, that's just cruel. Let's add it here, let's add it here, let's add it here. So that's 3, let's add it here, let's add it here, and let's add it here, because here I still have half an hour to go until 3 p.m. So this, ladies and gentlemen, this is my plan of attack for reading a fantasy book in 24 hours. So let's plan this correctly. I'll leave a nice square so I can put a thick box when it's done, and I'll be reading from 6 p.m. Right, so I'll be reading 6 p.m. to 6:30, 7 p.m. to 7:30, 8 to 8:30, 8:35 actually. Right, it can be. It was supposed to be the next one, but now it's this one. So 8 to 8:35. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the plan. This is what I'm going to be reading, and you all better wish me luck. Now, as you might have or not noticed, I did allocate some time for sleeping, but I allocated 0 time for cooking or eating or, basic necessities, except the little half an hours between each. But obviously, half an hour, it's the time that takes me to cook, which means I would have to cook in half an hour and then go read and then eat later. So what I'm going to do right now, it's approaching 5:30, so I'm going to try and read from 5:30 to 6 and use that half an hour to cross one of these time periods. And then at 6, I have to read again. So basically, I'm going to try and read for 1 hour straight right now, and God, wish me luck, because it's going to be painful. I'm at the parking lot of Tesco because Josh decided, why is this light on? Josh decided he wanted some donuts. So we drove here to the big supermarket that usually has a stand of Dunkin' Donuts, I think that's the one, or Krispy Kreme, I'm not sure. And Josh put a mask on his face and he went in to try and buy some donuts. We don't know if there's donuts. I don't even know if he got in already or if there's a queue outside or not. But I brought my book in case there's a queue, because now sometimes there's queues to go into the supermarkets because of all the social distancing thing. So I brought my book and he went in, and I'm just staying safe in the car and hoping that there is donuts. I'm gonna try and read a bit while I wait for him. Josh has successfully acquired the donuts. We're back home, washed our hands, and now I'm gonna eat the donut. I have the feeling that I'm super late for the readings, but let's check my paper. So I have 2 extras, which means that I read for half an hour twice in periods that were not listed. It's now 10 p.m. and from 10 to 10:30 I'm supposed to be reading, so I'm going to read for half an hour and then I'll come talk to you after that. Let's go. All right, it's 10:30. Let's see where we are here on my map. So I read from 10 to 10:30 just now, and I had 2 extras that I read earlier, so I'm going to cross them off and I'm going to complete these 2 that I missed. I'm still missing 1, which means that I still need to do another half an hour besides these other 3 that I need to do today. But right now, I'm gonna use this half an hour that I have now to do some things, and then I'm gonna go back to reading at 11. Although that now I forgot again what I needed to do. What was it that I needed to do and that I was thinking I need half an hour to do those things? Oh, I need to record the conclusion to another video that I've been doing and that is now over. So I need to finish that video. We're doing it, we're strong, we're doing it, we're doing it, we're doing it, we're being productive. It's been exactly half an hour. It's now 11, I don't know if it's 11 or half 11. It's 11. It's been half an hour, it's now 11 p.m. I did finish recording the conclusion for the other video that I wanted to record. So yep, productive. And now let's read for 35 minutes and tick off another box. Let's go. We're doing it, we're still doing it. I just finished 35 minutes of reading in here from 11 to 11:35 p.m. So let's mark that off. I still need to catch up on the one that I missed, but there's not half an hour between here and here. I'll be missing 5 minutes. So again, I'm gonna use this time now to relax, and then I'm gonna read this one and maybe try squeezing half an hour here or here. I don't know. I'll have to squeeze half an hour somewhere. Also, I finished chapter 8. I'm going to chapter 9. It's here, page 140. And let's talk about this book. First of all, can we all just take a moment to think that this book that has a pretty reasonable size, normal regular paperback, the audiobook has 17 hours. 17 hours! For those of you who are not used to read or listen to audiobooks, the normal amount I would say for a paperback this size, 10, 11 hours? 17 hours. You know what I think I'm gonna do? Not right now, because right now I'm updating this vlog, but after we're gonna go and see the other 3 books, how many pages they have, and how long are the audiobooks for those books. Just because I doubt that anyone is reading more than I am. Joanna just said she's reached 50% of her book. I did the math and I'm on 36%. 36%, and I feel like I've read so much. But let me tell you about this fantasy book. What is that book about, Manganet? What have you learned? Tell us about your experience. Alright, so we are following this guy Fitz. You know I'm bad with names. Fitz. And when the book starts, he's just a little kid and he has a dog. And there are really cute moments with the dog. But then he has some special connection with the dog. I didn't quite understand if he actually has that connection, as in if we're talking about magical powers, or it's just like of him and his dog were connected. You know, like I'm connected to Suki, but there's no magic involved in that. So I'm not quite sure. And he was like homeless, I think. And then this guy takes him in and says, you can no longer be with the dog. You need to not have those powers and that connection with the dog because it's weird and people are going to think you are weird. So you're staying here, I'm looking after you, and the dog is going to go bye-bye. So the guy takes the dog outside. I don't know if he just like shoos the dog away or if he kills him. I choose to believe that the guy just said bye Felicia to the dog. Back then, Fitz was 8 years old? 6 years old? Was he 6? I think he was 6. I have the feeling that I read somewhere that he was 6. Then this guy starts looking after him. At some point, and I believe it's in the prologue, we discover that Fitz is a bastard. He's the son of Prince... Oh, the names... Chivalry. So he's the son of Chivalry, but he's a bastard. So he was born outside his marriage when Chivalry was really young, right? And I do think that Chivalry now has another son that was actually born into the marriage. So I think Fitz was born before the guy was even married, and then he got married, and then he has this other son. Don't ask me what the name is, I don't remember. I think that is it. So at some point, I think during the prologue, we discover he's the bastard of the prince. And then I didn't exactly understand why, but while he's being looked after by this other dude that shooed the dog away, someone in the royal family starts supporting him, and they want him to have an education, so they start giving him clothes and whatever, and I think they give him a proper room. And after a while, during the night, someone enters his bedroom, and it's this weird guy that says, come with me, and Fitz just gets up and goes. Which makes no sense. Why would you walk away in the middle of the night with this random dude that shows up in your bedroom? This guy later introduces himself and basically tells him, I'm gonna teach you how to be an assassin, and in future you'll be able to use those skills to work for the king and be the king's assassin. And Fitz is like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm not sure if I can kill someone. And the guy actually says something that I thought was really cool, which was, I'm gonna teach you how to do it, but you don't need to decide right now if you will be able to do it or not. You can simply learn just for the pleasure of learning and having some extra knowledge, and then when time comes, you can decide if you want to use that knowledge or not. And when I read that, I was actually, all right, fair enough. Seems fair, seems very fair. So they start having these classes, and that's for me the interesting part of the book so far, is the little games and stuff that they do with each other to try and train Fitz into learning how to lie, how to fool people around him, stealing little things here and there and putting them back without the person that owns them realizing that he did that, and lying his way out of trouble and all those things. I think that's the most interesting part of the book. Where I currently am in the book is this scene where Fitz is picked up to go, like, the important people, I'm not sure if they're the royal family or someone else, but a bunch of important people are traveling somewhere. I don't know what they're doing. Let's talk about the fact that I'm not understanding the details in a little bit. But they are traveling somewhere, and Fitz is picked up to go with them as like an assistant and help them and serve them and all those things. But at the same time, his master, the one that is training him to be an assassin, tells him, pay attention, be careful, listen to what everyone's saying, you might find that you might want to kill this person. Now, this brings us to the point where I don't really understand what's happening. And why is that, you may ask? The problem is that this is a fantasy, obviously, I'm not used to it. And then it's also written in this very mystical way and like really old English. I definitely don't think this is an easy to follow English. I can follow the story, but the way it's written and it's so magical, and there's lots of words and like courts and old coaches and cabins, and like the way they describe the bedrooms and like the places they are, the palaces and whatever, they all have these really specific old English words to describe them, which makes it really difficult to follow. And then there's all these royal family things, which I hate. I hate reading about royal families and like the relationships between them all. It just like ties a knot in my brain. I never know who is who. And also, I don't like reading old things. And this is set in the past. But also, another thing that I don't like when books do is when it's set in some other time that is not the present, but it's not specified when was this or where was this. And I feel like fantasy books do that a lot. Not that I have that much experience reading fantasy, so everyone's probably gonna say, you are wrong, you're wrong. But I feel like it's common for fantasies to just throw you into this world, and then they start describing the world, but where is it happening? I know it's happening in that world, but where's that? Where's that city? Where's that country? Where's the place that they're fighting? And when was that? Was it like in the 1800s or was it in the 1600s? Now, I also think, does it make a difference for my understanding knowing those details? Probably not. But do I want to DNF this book? Of course I do. But it's not being as terrible, as painful, as boring how I was dreading it. It's still being bad. I'm still not enjoying it that much, but it's okay. I think it's okay enough for me to keep pushing myself and keep reading this. Now, is it a good fantasy book? I have no idea. You came to the wrong place if you want a good fantasy recommendation. I assume it is, but who am I to judge that? I was gonna check the amount of pages and time for the audiobooks of the other 3 books. However, I just checked the time and my next reading slot happens in 4 minutes. It is now 1:35 a.m. and I just finished reading, which means I've completed the last section for today. And also I read the half an hour before that and I completed, I think it was the 9:30 that I was missing. So basically I read from midnight to half midnight, then I kept reading till 1 in the morning to complete this one, and then from 1 to 1:35. So I've been reading non-stop for 1 hour and a half. It is tough. The book is not terrible, as in it's keeping me company, and that's alright. But like I said earlier, it's confusing. I'm not sure where the story is going. I'm not sure of what is happening all the time. But at least I'm not as confused as I was, for instance, with The Seven Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. That book for me was just horrible. Today I've completed all my slots. There was 8 today and 6 tomorrow, but I'm gonna try and read at least another half an hour today. Hopefully 2 half an hours, and add them as extras. So tomorrow, if I miss one of them, at least I have a backup. But we're doing it. Is it halfway through? It's halfway through! It's been more than half. It's page 210 out of 392. It's been more than half. Now, like I said earlier, I do want to figure out who's reading the most for this challenge, because we must know. And now let's use Goodreads to see how this all is looking like. So Bird Box has, on paperback, 262 pages. There is more than 100 pages different for mine. Probably this is the one Philippe is reading because she's just flying through it. So I assume it's this one. It's kind of deep. 368 pages. So far mine is still the biggest one. And the last one is If Only I Could Tell You. And the paperback version of this book has 368 pages exactly as well. So we have two at 368 pages, these two, and then Bird Box 262, and mine it's nearly at 400. Now let's see the audiobook times, even though we've seen the book I'm reading is the longest one. Thank you, Joanna. Bird Box, 7 hours, 51 minutes. I'm even gonna round it up to 8 hours. 8 hours. Cool. Is there no audiobook of this? Nope. Alright. So I'm just gonna assume that it's gonna be the same duration as this other one, given that they have exactly the same amount of pages. Obviously, it's not gonna be exactly the same thing, but roughly. 9 hours and 37 minutes. I'm even gonna double check, see if I didn't get mine wrong. 17 hours and 18 minutes. 18 minutes. It's even more than 17 hours. But what do we conclude from this? We have Bird Box at 8 hours. Then we have the other two at roughly 9. Let's call it 10. People, let's call it 10. Let's round it up for 10 hours audiobook. And then we have this Bay at 17 hours. 17 hours. 17 hours. Why me? Why me?
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
The time it takes me to read this book is almost double of whoever is reading Bird Box. So it's like I'm reading Bird Box twice. That's fine. That's fine. I can do it, and I will do it because Manganet's in the house, and I'm not here to play games. I'm here to read the books, and read the books I shall. Let's see what I think that each person is reading. So I think Philippa must be reading Bird Box because she's flying through that book. So it must be Bird Box, given that it's so small. Natasha said she read like 40 pages and she was not very convinced of the book earlier. Meanwhile, she's read more. And it could go both ways because Natasha is not a big fan of fantasy either. It's kind of deep. Is it fantasy? It's fantasy, young adult, and historical fiction. So it could be that. Doesn't seem like something that Natasha would like. But at the same time, maybe Natasha doesn't have the emotional depth to enjoy If Only I Could Tell You. This is interesting. I'm so curious to know what they're reading. I better get reading because I'm a busy woman and I get the busy books and I must read and I must win, even though it's not a competition. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I failed all my plans of sleeping 6 hours and waking up at 8 a.m. or whatever I said, but I might have still slept 6 hours. I slept, I think, at 3:30 in the morning, so I should have woken up at 10:30. And yes, I did. It's 10:30 now, and I woke up at 10 actually. I did sleep 6 hours, yes. I'm still in bed. I don't remember what time I said my first reading half an hour was gonna be. I'm gonna try and read for half an hour now, right now, before I get out of bed, and then I'll get out and I'll get ready. Last night I said that I was still gonna try and read to have another extra square, but I didn't do that last night. How do I describe last night? Everything was fine, and then I came to bed, and apparently now I'm someone who has lots of anxiety about things in life and panic attacks and just things in general. So I don't know if it's actually a panic attack what I had, because a panic attack is something quite big. I was not in a good place for a while last night, and don't worry, everything's fine. I'm fine. But we were watching something in the TV and it just stressed me out and it made me wonder things. I can tell you about it later if I feel like it. And then because I was stressing, I needed something to help me feel better. And it was actually alright, because Joanna asked us to do a little bit of self-care during the weekend. And I had some plans for that and I was gonna do them last night, but then it didn't happen because stress. But I still did some self-care, which was I went to my kitchen and I grabbed this jar of Malteser spreads. This is like Nutella, but it has little bits of cookie in between. It's good. It showed up as a replacement for Nutella when it was out of stock. So I got this. There was only like a tiny bit left in the jar. And a spoon. And I just ate this directly with a spoon out of the jar. And that, my friends, is self-care to you, because stress eating is real. Now, let's go read for half an hour. Half an hour. I managed to read an entire half an hour. I'm super falling asleep. So what I'm gonna do now is that for the half an hour now between the two half an hours, I'm gonna sleep and then I'm gonna wake up and read another half an hour. That's the plan. I'm on page 233. It's there, but we'll talk later. My book just fell out of the bed. We'll talk later. I slept more than half an hour because I'm just so tired, and Joanna has finished her book. Philippa, I have no idea, and Natasha is saying she has 100 pages left, and I cannot say anything because that would spoil to them which book I'm reading. But girls, my book has so many more pages than yours. It's nearly 1 p.m. There's 2 hours to go. How am I supposed to finish this in 2 hours? I don't even know if it's gonna be possible. Basically, I think I just need to listen to the audiobook like straight the whole time. I'm gonna get up, start getting dressed, and just play the audiobook continuously. Ignore my messy look. I'm gonna get ready and look better, or try at least. But I just want to give you an update, a quick update, because it's gonna be tight. So it's now 10 minutes to 1 p.m. and we need to finish at 3. So I have 2 hours to do this. I just checked and my audiobook has exactly 7 hours left. 7 hours. That's like the size of the audiobooks of their books. So I've read this all and I still have an entire book to go. And I did the math, and at 2.35 speed, which is the speed I'm currently listening to, I would need 2.98 hours, so 3 hours. Then I increased the speed to 3 and it's still not enough. Then I increased the speed. If I listen the rest of the audiobook at the speed of 3.5, which is the maximum speed that Audible has, it will take me exactly 2 hours to go through this 7 hour that I have left. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna increase the speed to 3.5. It's gonna be horrible, but you know what? I'm not enjoying the book anymore. And I'm confused anyway, and it's hard for me to keep up with the story anyway, so it's just gonna be the same. I'm gonna catch some things and others don't. I do listen to audiobooks at 3.5 sometimes, so it's not like I'm completely cheating, because it is something that I am able to do, listen to this audiobook so quickly. It is something that I've done in a regular book. I can understand to what they are saying at that speed. I know that people don't believe me, but I can. I did try listening to the audiobook while I was getting ready, but at 3.5 speed, it's difficult to follow along, especially when you're already not following along, but it's difficult following along without reading the physical pages, because I think that all the times that I managed to read that fast, listen that fast, I was also like physically reading at the same time. So I listened to like 5 minutes of it and I was like, no, that's too much, I cannot understand a single word. So I had to stop, finish getting ready, and now I'm gonna sit down and read until 3 p.m. with the audiobook at maximum speed, and let's see if I finish in time. It's now 1:20, so I assume I won't be finishing in time. I've been sitting here listening to the audiobook. It's now past 3 p.m. It's like 3:10 p.m. No, 3 p.m. No, 2 p.m. In order to finish this in time by 3 p.m., it would mean that at 2 p.m. my audiobook needed to say 3.5 hours left, because then at 3.5 speeds it would be equivalent to 1 hour. And like I said, it's like 2:10 or 2:15, something like that, and my audiobook is still saying like 3 hours and 50 minutes left, which means I'm not gonna have enough time to finish it. But also, can we just take a minute? I needed to come here and say, I feel so frustrated. I'm not understanding anything. I don't know what's happening. I don't know who's who. I don't know what they're doing. I'm not understanding anything. I don't know. I'm really frustrated with this thing of reading a book that I couldn't care less. I feel like I might cry. Like, I'm so frustrated and I'm so annoyed and I'm so pissed off that I might actually start crying, because that's the person that I am. I'm just like, why am I wasting my time reading something that I couldn't care less just to finish it? But I don't even know what's happening, so I'll be finishing it, and then if someone asks me, so Manganet, what was that book about? I'll be like, I have no clue. These challenges are fun. Reading other people's recommendations is fun. 24 hours readathons, I like the concept, even though I don't think I've ever done one before, but I did enjoy the concept of there's this book that you need to read within 24 hours. That's fun, it's a challenge, it's fun. But my reading tastes are not diverse. I'm not one of those people that can read anything and be happy about it. And that's fine, because it's okay to have our own tastes. That's fine. So, girls, I'm sorry, I hope you liked your books, but I'm really pissed off because I hate fantasy and I'm pushing through, and I just keep thinking, why am I pushing through? Why am I wasting my time reading this book? I'm not understanding anything. The English is so boring. The way it's written, this horrible old English, and this time that I don't even know when this is, and all these things, like there's horses and the guy talks to the dogs and to the people like inside his head, and it's called skill. Like, what the fuck? I'm really frustrated. So yes, I'm nearly finishing the book, but I'm not gonna force myself to read it because it's bad, and I'm gonna give it 1 star. I'm not gonna put it on DNF. I'm gonna count as reading the whole book because I've been this far and I could easily finish it in 1 extra hour. But I'm not gonna put that 1 extra hour because, you know what, Joanna, you wanted some self-care. Here's the self-care. I'm gonna put myself first and my mental health first, and I'm gonna ignore the last 1 hour of this book, and I'm gonna pretend I read it because it wouldn't make a difference, because right now I don't know what happened and I would still not know what happened 1 hour from now when I finish the book. So I'm gonna count the book as read. I'm gonna mark it down as 1 star. It's terrible and I don't want to read fantasy ever again, and that is it. I did try, I made a plan. This book was huge, I didn't have fun, and I want to cry. It is the end of this weekend reading vlog. I am now... What do you want? Come here. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Are you ready? You ready? Go! Bring it here. Kika. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Let me have it.
Bring me a toy. Bring me a toy. Bring me a toy. Suki, bring me a toy.
It's now slightly after 3 p.m, which means this 24-hour reading vlog is now over, finished, complete, done, scrubbed off. Let's talk about my considerations. I'm not going to talk about this little precious book because, you know, I've already discussed it. I've already told you what the story is about as I could understand it, and I've already told you I'm giving it 1 star. Also, I was in the group chat with my girls and they all gave really low quotations to their books as well, except Philippa, that it was between 3.5 and 4. But then I think Natasha is giving it 2 and Joanna is giving it 3. No, the other way around. Natasha is giving it 3, Joanna is giving it 2. So, what did we learn from this experiment is that books that were really good for us are clearly not very good books for each other, which is fun because we're doing this weekend vlogs project thing, but apparently we all like really different things, which means that for the future it's going to be really interesting thinking what else can we come up with, which other ideas do we have. We do have a bunch of other ideas of other vlogs that we want to do and projects, and everything is going to be developed one at a time per weekend, so we're going to be doing this every weekend. I don't know if we're going to skip any weekends or not. I don't think so, but I don't know, it's not up to me. But yeah, it's going to be fun. Follow us along in our 4 channels, and don't forget to to follow our Instagram page at VlogsInBookland, so you don't miss out on anything. You know, when we are releasing new videos, you see all the inside infos and you get to say things for certain videos. And yeah, my girls, it wasn't fun, but it was interesting, this 24-hour reading vlog, and let's never do this again. Bye!